loading is the first part, and straight away we cannot assume the load. Since you are in a classroom, there are 60 plus number of persons, but for a design, take the load, there the given data will be available. So you will be having a continuous beam, point load or UDL will be given to you. You have gone through the analysis of indeterminate structure, no? For all the problems you will be given with the question. What will be that? You will be having any beam or frame, definite loading will be there. But the reality is, you have to find your own problem. That is, the client will come and just he will ask that I need to construct a residential house. He will say that I need to construct a school building or a Kalyan Mandap. Like that, they will just come and give you the opportunity for you. But you are only known with the fact that you know to find the design, you know to find the analysis, only the question is given. But the reality is, you have to make your question. That is the reality of a civil engineer. They will come with only the opportunity, but you have to make your own question and make the design, give the solution for the client. So this is what the clarity. Okay, then how to make your question yourself? You have to make only by drafting these code books. So I have given list of code books. So you already know that dead load is known to you. What do you mean by dead load? Indian Standard Code gives a separate code book for that, that is IS 875. This is the code book which is purely discussing about dead load. The Indian Standard has given the guideline. You do this or you do that. They have given the guideline. What you have to do is, you have to adhere this guideline, everything will be safe. Code is not saying definitely you should do this. No, it is not saying like that. You take the minimum limit, you can go for maximum up to your economy or according to your design. They are giving the minimum level. That is, if you are casting a slab, they are saying at least make 120 mm. If you are going beyond that, it will be safety for you. Like that, you should know the code book in order to become a structural designer. So for making this 5 types of load. So what are the loads which are given here is dead load, which is given in separate for IS 875 part 1, and imposed load. So what are the imposed load is live load, crane, snow load. See, snow is the part where if you are living in a high altitude place. In India, you can go through the most northern place, that is Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Arunachal Pradesh. If you are going Punjab, if these areas are there, you will be facing severe snowfall at a certain period of time in a year. When you are designing your structure, you should not only take dead load, live load, and you will be taking floor finish, taking the total load. Yes or no? When you are designing a slab, what are the factors you will be taking? These 3 factors, no. But if you are designing your building in the places of the northern part of India, you have to consider snow load. A separate code book is being given, and what is the thickness of snow? There will be snowfall, and certain thickness of snow will be sticking in your roof. Rest of the things will be falling, and you have to consider that snow load. So for that, a separate code book is there, IS 875 part 4. Everything you can see IS 875 only. For dead load part 1, for imposed load IS 875 part 2, and for wind load, if you want to consider wind, how to design according to wind, IS 875 part 3 is giving the guideline, and part 4 discuss about the snow load. If you are designing everything, you can take only one title. What is that? Loading. So within that load, you have to know that. So in this class, I will be giving what are the important points in that code book, and I will be discussing with you. And rest of the load is erection load. Erection load in the sense, see, steel members has to be erected. If you are making any workshop or if you are constructing any steel structure, there will be a crane. The crane will be erecting all the members. So the steel member cannot be erected by the humans. So you need a equipment. So whenever you are having an equipment, even that equipment has some load. Yes or no? If you are constructing a workshop for 2 floors, you are erecting the second floor members, where you will be having the cranes. The crane in some cases has to be there in your structure. So this is what they are saying in erection load. And next thing is accidental load. So when you are going in a bridge, you might have observed the vibration, yes or no? Whenever you are traveling in a bridge between two expansion joint, if it is traveling through that expansion joint, you will be having some jerk and you will be experiencing some vibration, yes or no? These vibrations has to be taken by both steel and concrete. So steel and concrete are binded, yes or no? If you are vibrating a single member, both concrete and steel will get vibrated and there might be certain effect of cracking also. So that accidental load, which discuss on these issues, it might be blast load, impact due to vehicles, etc. Okay. There are another loads which has to be considered, which are the secondary effects. So the secondary effects consist of expansion and contraction and temperature changes. These are all due to temperature changes. The second thing is differential settlement and third thing is eccentric connection. See, when you are designing a and when you are constructing a steel structure, you will be having the size of beam, that is the beam size will be Indian standard of web. So you will be connecting with the column with the beam. So there is a part called tolerance. Tolerance is how much of eccentricity can be there within left side or right side. So this is known as tolerance. When you are placing any certain member, there might be having any certain 5 mm to 10 mm of deviation. If you are looking into this column also, there might be small deviations in tilting. So the column might be twisted and for 5 to 10 mm is the tolerance limit. So 100% accuracy is not possible. Around 95 to 98% of accuracy they are expecting. So these are the secondary effects of loading. When you are going through the dead loads, so you copy this. These are the dead loads, which is very important when you are designing a structure. If you want to build a residential house, these loads are enough. Soon after your final years, you will be going for construction. If you have these loads, you can take your own load calculation. See, when you are constructing a building, you will be having masonry, that is brick masonry will be there. What is the dead weight of brick masonry is 20 kilonewton per meter cube. You can take is, that is the plain cement concrete you have 24, reinforced cement concrete have 25 kilonewton per meter cube. Likewise, for all the works which you are generally doing will be taken care of this dead weight. If you are taking steel 78.5, which is the highest dead weight material. Steel, yes, you can see that if you are constructing by steel, you will be having higher dead weight in your structure. What is the lowest material? Which material you can use and construct by using less weight? Glass. If you want to construct a building which should be having light in weight, which material you have to choose? Glass is the lightest material. You can construct your house by using glass, you will be getting lightweight. So according to this you have to plan. Okay. Now while considering all the loads, see, generally what is imposed load is, you will be having this table, the brick wall, humans, everything is considered as the imposed load, and the dead loads are the structural members which you have as the slab or a beam, which is known as the dead load. So you can differentiate between imposed load and dead load. Okay, now let me give you a question. Is imposed load is same for all the residential building? See, in your house, your dimension might be different. In someone's house or in the hostel, the dimensions might be different. Is all the imposed load are same? Then how to construct the building? So what is your solution? What could be the easiest solution? The solution is being given by the code book. They are saying that you can build whatever might be your residential house, not more than 2 kilonewton per meter square of the load will be there in any of the residential house. What is 2 kilonewton is how many kg? 2000 Newton. 2 kilonewton is 2000 Newton. In terms of kg, 200 kg. Okay. Can you tell in your house that if any equipment or any things which you have placed have 200 kg of weight? Tell me. Do you have anything in your house or any property in your house which has a weight of 200 kg? Do you have anything? What is the highest weight? You can have a bureau or a cot. So what will be the highest weight of the cot or the bureau? 60, 50, up to 100 kg it can go. So can you take 100 kg as your maximum? Yes, but code gives that you can imagine up to 200 kg. At the worst case, they are giving the worst case that not more than 200 kg is used anywhere in the India, in any of your house. If you are building any basement for your structure, see, this is your basement of the structure. What are the loads which are coming to this walls? See, first load is a dead load which is coming due to the self weight, and next you have a load of the soil, yes or no? If you are making any retaining wall, you will be having the soil load, and you have to consider dead load plus this live load and the soil load. These three loads you have to consider and proceed. Okay. Now the part of dead load is over. Now you can take the imposed load. So the code book IS 875 part 2 is there for the imposed load, and they are giving that. So you can take down these notes. For residential building, 2 kilonewton per meter square is enough. So you can make a residential house. If you are building any office house, you have to take your live load as 3 to 4 kilonewton per meter square. And if you are constructing or designing a storage facility, say for example library. See, library is also a room or a structure where you have high amount of live load. You have to, when you are constructing a library, you have to take the live load of how much? 5 to 7.5. You have to take 5 to 7.5 of the live load. Why? Because you will be having book racks for every 1 meter or 1.5 meter, yes or no? Which is a very high load. You are storing the books. If you are building your residential house, what is the minimum limit you can take? You can take around 2, like that. Okay. Another thing is, they are giving live load a consideration if any partitions are available. If any partition walls are available, you have to take additional of 1 kilonewton per meter square. In your building, if you have any partition wall within your rooms, you have to consider it as 1 kilonewton per meter square as the dead load, and you can proceed. Okay. You will be not having the live loads in the roof, yes or no? Roof is the last portion of the building. Will you have any live load? Are you placing any weight there? Are you placing any of your housing equipment or things? Are you living there? No. You will be not having, you will be not staying at the roof. That is why the code says that reduction in live load applicable to columns. So they are giving the certain guideline in order to reduce your loads. At the top of the roof, you can take 0% as the live load. So you no need to take the live load at all. Okay. At the second floor, you can reduce by 10%. If you are building your house, for the first floor, if you are considering, you can reduce 10% of your live load. Second floor, third floor, like that. If you are keep on increasing the floors, for 5th to 10th floor, you can consider 40% of your live load. So what is the live load which is considered here? 4 kilonewton per meter. What is the 50% of that? 4 kilonewton per meter, half of that is 2 kilonewton. If you are constructing a 10 floor structure, you can consider 4 kilonewton at each floor. But after the 5th floor, you can consider how much? 2 kilonewton per meter and you can proceed. What will happen if you consider all the floor is having 4 kilonewton? What will happen? The loads will increase. If loads are increased, bending moment will increase. Yes or no? If bending moment is increased, material will increase. So in order to reduce the material cost, what you can do is reduction of the loads can be done. So this is what the code book is given. If you have a flat sloping or curved roof which is having a slope and inclination about 10 degrees, if you have the flat roof like RCC structure, or you might have a small tapering in your roof, in those point of area, uniformly distributed imposed load, you can take it as 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. Even though you will be not having the live load on roof, you should take floor finish, that is roof finish will be there. So you will be finishing with the tiles. So roof tiles, separate tiles are available. You will be pasting that roof tiles in those area. For that purpose, how much is the load you have to consider? 1.5 kilonewton per meter square, you have to take that. And if access not provided, nobody is going to move on the roof, in the sense you have to consider 0.75 kilonewton per meter square. These are the two conditions. Sloping roof with a slope greater than 10 degree. If you have more than 10 degree, you can take it as 0.75 and you can reduce 0.02 kilonewton per meter square for every degree of increase of slope at 10 degree. That is, if you have 10 degree of inclination of your roof, you can take 0.75. If you have 20 degree of inclination, how much you can reduce? 0.2. That will be 0.55 kilonewton per meter square as your roof load. The thing is, when you are designing your structure, all the floor will be having the live load. The roof floor will not have the live load. Instead of that, what should be the load which is added? Roof load is required, and at least 1.5 kilonewton per meter square you have to consider. Okay, these are some of the examples. Your structure, see, this is an example for ground floor. In first floor you have to take live load, and in second floor you have to take live load or roof load? Roof load only. So there is no live load here. Since this is a tapered one, it is having a tapering more than 10 degree, you have to take the roof load as 1.5 or 0.75? 0.75, yes. So you can reduce that load according to the angle of the roof. And if you are constructing in a plain area or tropical area, which is Bangalore, Hyderabad, like that, you can consider only dead load, live load and roof load. If you are constructing your house in any hill places which it is subjected to snowfall, you have to consider the snow load also. You have to take roof load as 0.75 plus you have to add the snow load. Okay, let us understand that. And also in the roof, in a flat roof, this kind of water stagnant might be there in the raining season. So you have to consider these things and all. For this purpose, 1.5 kilonewton per meter square is being added. And also, everyone will be questioning what is accidental load or blast load. See, if you are having any structure in national highway like this, what will happen if any crash of the vehicle in the road will impact the house also? You can understand that if any accident might affect the surrounding, yes, it does affect your surrounding, and you have to consider these loads are called as accidental load. So accidental load you have to consider and start your building. Okay, these are the certain points. In India, in code book it is indicated that these are the points when you are living in Jammu and Kashmir. The maximum thickness of the depth of snow you have at Ladakh you have 1500 mm of snow. Within a year you have the maximum snow depth, and at passes which are Rotang Pass and Banial Pass, you might having 2500 mm of depth. And another places called Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, you have to consider the snow thickness. Also the Uttar Pradesh. In aspect of India, these are the places you have to consider the snowfall and depth of the snowfall. They have given the guideline, and when you are constructing your house at these places, note that the snow load has to be considered, and you have to multiply this depth into what? Weight of snow will be 960 Newton per meter cube. If the snow is very thick, you can take it as 1600 Newton per meter cube. So these are the dead load. Okay. Now going into earthquake loads. You have a separate code book called IS 1893, which is the code book for earthquake loads. So you can refer that. Salient points are very important, crucial points I have given here. When you are constructing your house in a seismic zone, which is zone 2 and 3, zone 2 and 3 are Bangalore. You can construct your house wherever in Bangalore, it consists of zone 2. Okay. Now, second case is, if you are constructing a regular building is your college building. Why? Because it is having a regular shape, that is a rectangle shape or a square. You have the blocks of only square and rectangle. These are regular shape. If you have this kind of a arrangement, you can take, and if you have 90 meter height and if you have irregular building 40 meter height, you have to design your building as per earthquake code. And if your structure is having irregularity, you have to consider and design as per IS 1893. Without that, the corporation will not give you the approval and license. So for every construction, you need to submit your plan for approval. Yes or no? With the corporation, you have to send it for approval. In your approval, you have to give these things as the specification. When you are constructing in zone 5 or 4, if you have regular buildings of less than 40 meter or irregular buildings of less than 12 meter. 12 meter is around, you have 3-story structure. If you are building your house at Gujarat, if it is more than 3-story and it is irregular, definitely you have to refer which code book? IS 1893. Without this code book, you cannot start your design, or else the corporation will not give the approval. Okay. This is the seismic zone throughout India. So Bangalore is coming under which zone? Zone 2 is light color. These light colors are having less impact of earthquake. So wherever you find these light colors, you have less impact of the earthquake. These are the plateau regions. Okay. What are the dark colors? Where you have the dark area? You have at the Gujarat. Yes or no? This is the area where you had the past earthquake, that is Bhuj earthquake, which has happened in this part of Gujarat. And in the Myanmar and Nagaland region, you have heavy seismic possibility. And by this map, you can understand that, are you living in a safe place or not? You are in the safest place in India, no issues on taking care too much on that. But in your career, you might go through length and breadth of the country. Some days you can go to the Himachal Pradesh due to certain work, you can go to that, or else in Rajasthan you can work. When you are going to those part of area, if you are a project engineer or site engineer, definitely you have to consider certain things. What you have to consider if you are there and working on the Gujarat part of area, which code book is required? IS 1893. If you are constructing more than 12 meter height, which is very much essential. Okay. Next, this is the map of wind intensity. Throughout you will be having the wind. So you are in which color? In blue color. So everybody will come under this area, and you have a wind fall, that is maximum wind of 33 meter per second. You note it down. Whatever you are finding here, you note it. It will be very much useful. So when you are constructing in Bangalore, you can take highest wind as how much? 33 meter per second. So you can assume that the wind as the force and you can start constructing. Okay, what is the worst place is pink color or the worst place that you have the maximum wind in the India. What are those places? The Andhra Pradesh area. The Andhra Pradesh area, and you have Kolkata, that is West Bengal, Chennai, Pondicherry, these areas you have high possibility of wind. So if you are constructing there, what should be your wind, maximum wind? 55 meter per second. You have to consider 55 meter per second and start proceeding your design. Okay, the yellow parts are next safer than that. Likewise, you can go through this map and you have to design your structure. See, as a structural engineer, you should be not knowing only how to solve problems. You should know all the topology, weather conditions, understanding on site engineers. So when you gain experience, you can be a better structural engineer. Okay, this load combinations I will discuss with you in further class. If you have any doubt in load, you can discuss here.